Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and after a crazy Week 6, it's time to move ahead to Week 7 and make our Week 7 picks.
Yeah, we are making the picks. And as usual, we started the first game. Last week we didn't have a Thursday night game. We had a Tuesday night game instead. This week we do, and it's not a glorious matchup, as many of them have not been. It's an FC East matchup.
It's important.
It is important for them, but it's probably not going to be too fun to watch for everyone else. Who knows? It actually might be a good game. The Giants got their first win last week. I didn't think I even said the matchup. It's the Giants at the Eagles. The Giants got their first win last week against Washington. And the Eagles, they were down early to the Ravens. Then they fought their way back into it and then missed a 2-point conversion that would have brought them to overtime. So they were in that game with a good Ravens team. I don't know how. But the end of that game is hopeful for me for the Eagles. Hopefully they can keep it up. And I have the Eagles winning this game 27-14.
Yeah, when you look at this game, it's important because it's the NFC East. No one's really out of it in that division because no one's really been able to, get going and get on the right foot. And credit to the Giants. Daniel Jones did some nice things, and they got their first win finally. But the Eagles, they lost, but they fought in that game. And, Carson Wentz, I've been critical of him, and people have been critical of him. And a lot of that's deserved, but, this guy is a fighter, and he's going to, go out there, and he's going to play to the end, and he did. He almost brought them back against a very good Baltimore team that was, very heavily favored coming in. So really, really, really impressive game for Carson Wentz despite the loss, the way he bounced back. I think the Eagles bounce back from this tough loss and get a win on the short week against a division opponent, 27-23 to score. Eagles win.
Well, both these teams haven't been very good, but there's been bright spots for them. I mean, in games they've lost, they've been in pretty close games. But it's ultimately a game of winning and losing. Both these teams have come up on losing end a lot. I think Philadelphia is a team that I think has a chance to win this division, although it is absolutely terrible. I think they will end up being the top of this division. I said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to stick with it. I know they've had injuries, but they're starting to put things together. The offense is getting go a little bit. It always seems like that way. The Eagles pick it up later in the season. That starts now. They get another first win. In a bit of time, they win 27-23 against the struggling Giants. But congrats to them on winning a game. Next game is the Detroit Lions at the Atlanta Falcons. Another team that we congratulate on winning the game is the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, they actually looked pretty good in this game against the Vikings. I don't like to blame it on the coaches. We saw with your team, Bill O'Brien went out, and the Texans won, and Dan Quinn went out. It's like, that doesn't make that big of a difference.
No, it's really not that big of a difference.
But I just think, as I said before, something needed to change with the Falcons and with the Texans, and once it changed, things were good. But yeah, those coaches were really good anyways. But the Falcons, I think they're going to get going now. And I know Detroit won last week because they Jacksonville, so that's not saying much. I think the Falcons win this game in a close one, 30-28.
The Falcons did have a nice little, win against the Vikings. They played well. Matt Ryan played well. Julio Jones had one touchdown, at least maybe more. Calvin Ridley got in the end zone. So finally, that offense, at least for a week, lived up to the potential and to how good everyone thinks it should be. Because this is an offense that's always hyped up before the year, but very rarely do they put it all together. But when you look at Detroit, when they play bad defenses, they feast, and we saw they beat Jacksonville pretty handily. They won their second game of the year last week. 25 total first downs, just over 400 yards of offense, 11 total drives. Matthew Stafford looked really well, as he so often does. I think Detroit keeps this momentum going and gets to 500 against the Falcons team that, nice first win, but, at the end of the day, the Falcons is still a team that that's going to have a lot of work to do in the offseason. So I'm going to take Detroit to win their second consecutive one. High-scoring game, 33-27, Lions win.
Atlanta, I give you my thanks. You beat the Vikings for me, and that's always fun. Not only because you beat the Vikings, but because the Vikings lost to an 0-5 team.
So because they beat the Vikings.
So, thank you for doing that. Unfortunately, I don't have you winning in this game.
Reward them.
No, I didn't reward them because we're going to be rewarding my fantasy quarterback who may or may not be starting. We'll figure it out. I have the Lions winning this game 28-26. It's going to be an offensive showdown, and the score could be higher than that, but I have the Lions taking the dub. Meanwhile, two teams that did not take the dub are the Browns and the Bengals. The Browns losing bad to the Steelers, who just looked phenomenal, and the Bengals in a tight one with the Colts. They were trying to Sorry. They're up early, and then the Colts had a big comeback, and they were not able to hang on to the game, so they ended up losing the game. It should be a good game. It's an AFC North game, but the Bengals just have not looked that good recently, and the Browns are going to be mad. I have them winning this game. Here it is. 27-21.
There you go.
All right, so you found your score prediction. And, when these two teams played last, it wasn't too long ago. It was week 2, Thursday night, and it was a fun back-and-forth game between two young quarterbacks. I heard you. It was a fun back-and-forth game between two young quarterbacks. It was really fun to watch. Both teams had their moments. I expect more of the same, but I do think the Browns bounce back from that embarrassment in Pittsburgh and take it 28-24.
I think the Browns will be okay. I don't think they're going to be as hyped up as they were before their game against the Steelers, but I think they're going to be fine. That starts in this game. I think the Bengals are still a team that's looking for their identity, and eventually they will find it, but not in this game. I have Cleveland winning this one 31-25. Next one. This is going to be probably the best game of the week, in my opinion. The game I really want to watch, and hopefully we'll be able to watch. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Tennessee Titans, two undefeated teams playing against each other. The two of the three remaining as we almost reach our halfway point in this season. It's going to be a tight game. I think there's going to be a good amount of defense in this one. Maybe something you didn't really expect, but still a decent amount of scoring. I think Pittsburgh is the better team right now. They seem like they're more put together, but Tennessee also similar to that. So I think it's going to be really close. I had a tough time with this one. Ultimately, I went with the Steelers, continuing their win streak, 26-23. Pittsburgh wins in a fun, classic game.
Yeah, this will be a fun game, no doubt. Two undefeated teams, that just says a lot right there. When you look at these two teams, I just think Pittsburgh is looked a little more dominant, a little more complete. The Titans we saw last week, we saw numerous times before. They're winning games, and I give them credit for that. They're finding ways to come through when it matters most, and they've been doing that a lot. But, they've been in these close games. They've had to rely on these late fourth quarter moments, whether it's a big kick, a big stop, or a late play that, really changes the tide of the game. Pittsburgh, just look last week. They've been more dominant. I think especially with Taylor Lewan going down, with what is believed to be a torn ACL, that's a big blow for that Titans team and their offensive linemen. Their offensive line took a step back after he left that game last week. And against this pass rush, it's going to be a big challenge for them. So I'm going to give it to Pittsburgh in a very, very close, very, very fun game. Definitely watch this one if you can. The Steelers win 24-23.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has not shown themselves to be Penguins, and the Titans have shown themselves to be Predators.
Oh, what they do?
Bringing in some hockey.
My God.
Took Tyler a second. But who's going to win this game in the NFL, not in the NHL? I think the Steelers are going to take it. I really like what I saw from them. Now, I do have to say the Titans have really surprised me. I didn't think they were going to look as good as last year. The past 2 weeks, they have absolutely wowed me. But that being said, I'm still not picking them. I have the Steelers winning 26-24. As we move on to the next game, it's not the Cardinals, it's the Panthers at the Saints. I've made that mistake before, twice actually. And the Saints coming off a bye, Michael Thomas will hopefully be back for this game. That'll be good for my fantasy team and for the Saints.
He just got to not punch someone he shouldn't have.
Yeah, we'll see.
That might be tough for him.
It's true, it might be. But the Panthers just coming off a loss to the Bears, and Saints, like I said, on bye. So I have the Saints winning this game with Michael Thomas coming back. Let's hope they get him involved. 30-21. I have New Orleans winning this game, and hopefully winning a lot more games in the future because you need to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that the Saints are going to they're not just going to be fine. They're going to get back and win some games, and they're going to win this one and win some more after that, and really become a true contender in the NFC, because they always seem to have a little bit of a rocky start, drop a game or two early in the year. They've done that the past few years, but I think this team will be fine. They have the weapons, just needs to get going. I think it will against the Carolina team they're better than I even expected, and I was one of the more higher people on them before the year. They're 3-3 right now. That's pretty good, but they're going to be 3-4 because the Saints are going to win 34-20.
Yeah, this is a game where actually I feel like it could be upset or watch out.
Maybe
Carolina has been a good team. I mean, me and Jordan got to see them in person. There's a video coming out about that on Friday. And
we were there.
Yeah, we were there watching them play the Bears. They have skill on that team offensively and defensively, so I look forward to what's in the future for them. This Saints team has also been a team where it's been underwhelming. I think we're going to see a close game in this one, but I'm not picking an upset. I'm picking the Saints to win this one 32-29. All right, next one. I think this should be a pretty simple game to pick, so I'll go through it quickly. It's the Bills at the Jets. The Jets stink. The Bills don't. Bills win 33-20.
Yeah, we haven't seen Buffalo yet at the time we're making this because it's Monday. They haven't kicked off that game yet. But like you said, we don't need to because the Bills are just on a different level, and it's kind of everyone else other than the Jets. So yeah, not much to say here. I think Buffalo takes it 38-16.
Oh, did you actually want me to say it?
Oh, well, I mean, you may.
Did you want me to say it?
We may as well skip it. No, say it. Just say your score and then.
Sorry, Jets. 32-14.
Understand.
Bills, if you lose this game, you stink. Next game is the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team. I almost said it. Wow, that was close. Anyways, we haven't watched the Cowboys play yet. Like we said, it's Monday night. We need to see how the Red Rifle Andy Dalton plays in place of Dak Prescott. But I have the Cowboys winning this game regardless. Washington lost a bad game to the Giants, who are also an inferior opponent. So I have the Cowboys winning 24-17.
Yeah, this is, good old NFC East game. We got two of them this week. I'm going with the Washington football team here to pull off this upset. I mean, it'll probably be an upset. That's my guess. I don't know what the point spreaders will do. But, it just kind of makes sense that the NFC East is going to keep beating up on each other so no one could actually, be good and that this team is there, that this division is going to send a 6-10 or 7-9 team to the playoffs. Washington, even in their losses, they've had some bright spots. They were very close against the Giants, just went for 2 at the end and didn't get it. And,
Did not get it.
They did not get it. And I think that, they're going to get some wins to show for their efforts, even though, they're not, one of the best teams. But in the NFC East, hey, everyone's a contender, so I think Washington takes this one. And what some people consider a surprise for sure, 26-23 over their big rivals.
I almost went with what you said. This was a game where I thought about the upset alert, and I didn't do it. Again,
nope.
I have the Cowboys winning this one. I think the Red Rifle will be able to get this team going. We don't know what happened on Monday, but regardless of that, I still like the future of this team. I think they get a win this week against the football team. They win 30-23. There it is. Next one.
There it is, guys.
There it is. Next game is the Green Bay Packers at the Houston Texans. Now, the Texans are actually looking a bit better, Brian.
Yes.
You can attest to that ever since Bill left. Bill O'Brien, they've looked better. But the Packers, even though they looked bad last week, honestly, I think that makes them better. They know they can lose now, and I think they're going to be angry and want to win this game. So I have them winning this game, putting up 38 points. They win 38-30. The Texans keep it somewhat close, but it really won't feel that way if you watch the game, according to my prediction.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting game because, like you said, the Packers coming off a loss, and I said, why couldn't they choose to play like that next week? Because, what are the odds that they play that bad 2 weeks in a row? Not very good. But, the Packers are the Packers. I think they'll be fine. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. He'll be able to shake this one off. And, he's a guy that's came back from adversity, whether it's a tough loss or, injuries on his team or, not having a lot of weapons or really anything. He's a guy that you can always rely on. But on the Texans side, really quickly, I'm just going to say, when Romeo Crennel took over this team, he said that he wanted to let Deshaun Watson be who he knew he could be. And he's done that the first 2 weeks that he's been the interim head coach of this team. So props to him for doing that. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Texans can beat the Packers. Packers take it in a high-scoring game, lots of offense, kind of like the Texans-Titans game we saw. Packers take it 42-34, high-scoring game for you. Oh, okay.
Not going to do it. But that is an implication of who I'm going to pick in this game. Tyler said it best. I think the Packers losing last week in the fashion they did actually makes them better. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come out with a vengeance. They'll win this game over Ryan's Texans 32-26. Last week, we had a Battle of the Birds with the Ravens and the Eagles. We got back-to-back weeks in the Battle of the Birds. This week, we got the Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. All right, so who's going to win this Battle of the Birds? It's a Battle of the NFC West as well. And the NFC West team that I have winning is Russ and his crew. Coming off of a bye, he'll be fresh. They'll all be fresh. And I have them going off as usual. I have it being a score of 34-26. Russ will keep cooking with his birds, but Kyler's birds will fall.
Well, there you go. This will be a fun game. Two interesting quarterbacks, two guys that certainly have their moments for sure. First time we've seen these teams play each other this year. I'm going to go with Seattle as well, but I think it will be close and come down to the wire. Seahawks take it 34-31. Should be one of the better watches of the week.
Yeah, this was another one where I went, okay, another upset. There's a couple upsets I could have picked. Didn't go with it, though. I think Seattle stays undefeated. But the Cardinals keep it close because they're looking better. Seahawks ultimately win 34-28.
And by looking better, you mean beat the Jets.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Wait, do we all have the Seahawks getting 34?
I think so. I do.
Well, what do you know?
Wow. All right. Wow, what a coincidence there. I don't have any of these teams getting 34 in this next game. So it's the Chiefs at the Broncos. This one should be another fun one because for some reason, the Chiefs don't do good in their division. I think these teams are trying to build to beat the Chiefs, and that kind of messes them up. This was not an upset alert one to me. I didn't really think about it very much, although I think the Drew Lock Red Broncos will keep it close. Ultimately, the Chiefs and they win 31-30.
Yeah, the Chiefs will chief, and this is going to be an interesting game because, as you mentioned, the Chiefs have struggled in the past against some of their division opponents. We saw them lose to Vegas a couple weeks back, but I think Patrick Mahomes will do his thing. Although this Broncos team, they can do some things that not many people expected them to do. They kind of had a big defensive showing in New England last week, so who knows? Maybe they'll be able to shut down the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs' offense is just really on a whole other level from the rest of the league. I think Kansas City takes it 34-24, but could be closer than that score indicates.
On Sunday, I hope that Le'Veon Bell's cleats never touch any blade of turf. Please stay off the sideline. This is Mile High Clyde's time to shine, okay? In Denver. What?
Nothing.
I'm just going to... You said you didn't want the top to... You didn't
want
his cleats to touch the turf, and then you said, please don't keep him on the sidelines.
Oh. You know what I meant.
Yeah. Keep him on the sidelines.
No,
he wants Clyde.
Joker. Anyways, yes, Mile High Clyde is what we're going to be calling him this week because they're playing in Mile High Stadium in Denver. Unfortunately, I don't truly think that he'll go off, but I hope he does. And I have his team winning 31-23. Sorry for the failed intro. I thought it was going to be good, but I messed it up.
All right. Wait, don't you have to go again?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
I was like, what?
I was still flustered there. Next game is the 49ers coming off of a big win against their division opponent in the Rams, and the Patriots coming off of a bad loss to the team we just talked about, the Broncos, who I don't think many people were expecting. Cam Newton coming back from his COVID-19 sickness, and he did not look that good. In fact, the Patriots all over did not look that good. I'm still not completely on the Niners train yet, and of course, I'm not on the Cam train, but I'm more on that train than I am the Niners train, I guess. Not really, though. Anyways, I'm on Bill Belichick's train in Subway. 20-14, I have Subway winning.
Yeah, Bill. I got you. But with this game,
I look better too.
I was gonna say that, but mine. I had it already.
All right. Well, with this game, now we got the Subway jokes out of the way. With this game, look at two teams, both kind of similar in the sense that they have solid defenses, and even with all the opt-outs the Patriots had before the year, they still are a solid defensive unit. And with San Francisco, we knew that they had a good defense, even with these injuries that they've had in the early parts of the season. Both these teams depleted, but yet still very good defenses. That's how I'd summarize the two teams playing in this game. In San Francisco, the key for them is what they did do on Sunday night. They got back to running the ball. They played 49er football. Jimmy G had some good throws, and they got Kittle involved and Deebo Samuel and stuff like that.
That's the exact formula they need to have to win every game.
Yeah, and it worked, but I think they'll try it again, but I think the Patriots will do just enough to stop them because Patriots, even in this new post-Brady era, the Patriots going 2-4 just doesn't sound right, so I just really can't, cannot do it. I can't. So I think New England wins a field goal-filled defensive battle 22-19.
Well, I mean, with the Titans, it seemed like COVID-19 was something that was like, I don't know if there was some sort of chemical that was making the players better or something. That was the theory I had. And then the Patriots just proved it wrong. I mean, they got COVID and then came out and stunk against them. But the joke I was going to make was Bill Belichick's going to tell us, cut all his players' sleeves and tell them, you guys better look better too in this game. And I think they'll win against a improving 49ers team. I don't know if this is going to be an upset or not, but I'm picking the Patriots to win 29-27. Next game is the Jaguars at the Chargers. The Chargers coming off their bye. Justin Herbert's been looking better every week that we've seen him. The Jaguars have been looking worse every week that we have seen them. In those trends, it only makes sense to pick the Chargers, who are getting better. I have them winning this game 33-24.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's played really well for this Chargers team, but yeah, he hasn't gotten rewarded with that first NFL win. He's made great throws. He's overall had good decision making, and he's really putting them in position where they could have won games. But I think this is finally the week Justin gets rewarded for his efforts. He's definitely a contender for Offensive Rookie of the Year for sure if he keeps putting up numbers like he is now. Justin, you finally are going to get that first NFL win, and you're going to do it against a team that's been struggling. But nonetheless, Chargers win 37-21.
All right, so Justin Herbert against Jacksonville or Matthew Stafford against Atlanta. Let me know which quarterback I should play in my fantasy football league. Anyways, I have the Chargers winning this game because I like Justin Herbert because he's currently on my bench, but might not be on my bench in fantasy football. And the Jaguars, you let DeAndre Swift score twice when I needed Matthew Stafford to score points. So therefore, you lose this game, 27-17. It's a foolproof system. I have the Chargers winning.
That really was great logic. I got to hand it to you.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, when it comes to logic, I usually have the best at the table.
I mean, sometimes you do.
Just
but
it's not an agreement.
Especially in my ranking stuff.
Oh, no.
Anyways,
No.
next game, it's the Sunday night game. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is the Packers, at the Las Vegas Raiders, going to the new stadium. Al and Chris get to see it for the first time. They're going to be so excited. Anyways, this should be really good. I'm excited to watch the Raiders play again.
I mean, you just acted like Al and Chris are like 5-year-old
I
kids
know.
going to Disney World for the first time or something.
They might be running around like, oh, look at the flame. Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now here's a stadium.
That's what Chris was.
Sliding around.
Anyways, I'm excited to see the Raiders play in this game. I want to see if they continue what they've been doing. Also with the Bucs, I want to see if they continue what they just did last week. I have the Bucs winning this game narrowly. It could go both ways, and honestly, I'd like to see the Raiders win more. But I have the Tampa Bay Bucs winning it 32-30. 32-30.
All right, this is an interesting Sunday night game. It doesn't really like scream Sunday night football when you look at the two teams, but it is really going to be a good game. So
Sunday night football.
It does not do that. It does not do that because there's no NFC West team. I don't know. They have an obsession with the NFC West, but now we've got NFC South versus AFC West, and this will be an interesting game. The Bucs got back on track. They got lots of different players involved. Even though Chris Godwin didn't do much, Mike Evans, Tyler Johnson did have a touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, about time.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go
Talia
into that,
Tagovailoa.
I did see that, and that was that was interesting to see. That's all I'll say. But getting some people involved, I would have liked it to go to Chris Godwin because he was on my fantasy team. That's definitely the only reason I would want it to go to Chris Godwin instead.
For sure, yeah.
But anyway, I think the Bucs keep their momentum going. I don't think we're going to see as much of Tyler Johnson. It's going to be more of a Chris Godwin, Mike Evans game, maybe Ronald Jones too. But it's okay. He had his fun. But Bucs win on Sunday night, 27-24.
I've had a lot of these, but this is another one where I didn't pick the upset, but I want to scream, upset alert. Jordan, please scream it now. I figured you would.
Oh no!
Don't scream in the mic.
Upset alert!
Thank you.
My legs
because I think it could be. The Raiders are one of the most underrated teams in the NFL right now. I really like what they're doing, but the Bucs put up a 2-strong performance against the Packers last week. I'm picking them to win 36-32. Last game, a Monday Night Football game. It's the Bears and the Rams. This is one where I'm not sure who's going to be higher on the spread in Vegas or whatever it is. But I'm going to be picking my team in this one. I mean, they played well enough against a pretty good team in the Panthers last week, where I think they can pull this one off, and the Rams struggle a bit. I think this will be a fun game to watch. I don't like watching my team on Monday Night Football. I don't know why. I just prefer it to be Sunday.
Yeah, that whole school day before is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because you have to get through that.
Exactly. But I'm picking the Bears to win this one. I think they get to 6-1. I hope this is right. But I could definitely see it going both ways, much like most Bears games.
These two teams are kind of similar because they've both gotten off to good starts. The Bears are 5-1, the Rams are 4-2. So definitely still both of the teams in very good positions right now, especially since both of them missed the playoffs last year. But both are also kind of similar in the way where you look at the record, but then you dive deeper and you see, okay, who have they beat? How have they looked? It hasn't always been pretty. So pretty interesting to see. But I don't know. I thought about this one, but I'm going to give it to the Rams at home. I think that they're going to get back on track. I think that their, group of receivers is really solid. I think that, Jared Goff has his on games and his off game. He kind of had an off game in San Francisco, so I guess he's kind of due for an on game. Could go either way, like Tyler said, but I'm going to give it to the Rams 34-23, but should be interesting. Two similar teams.
No, I'm not a habitat expert. I don't know that much about these animals and stuff.
Yeah, what does a sheep do?
You go, bah. These aren't sheeps; they're rams. But
A ram is a sheep.
It's like
A ram is
they
a
are
sheep.
technically a sheep.
A ram is a wild sheep.
It's not what you would assume to necessarily be the definition of a sheep.
No,
but they
not
are
like
in
a
the
sheep. Not like a
family.
sheep in the
They're in
children's
the sheep
books,
family.
but yeah.
Anyways, so I'm not a habitat expert, and I know that rams and bears might not live in the same place. But let's put them both in the woods right here, okay? If you look at the woods right now, I think if there was a bear and a ram in the woods, a bear would eat the ram. I mean, it's just simple stuff. I think in this game, the Bears are going to turn Jared Goff off, and after the game, they're going to be sitting in their chair, having some sips from their cup. Anyone know what I just did? 24-20, I have the Bears winning this game. Do you guys know what I just did?
Well, did you say cup on purpose or no? Like for Cooper Cup or no?
Think about the other words that I said. Where were they?
Repeat.
Where were they?
Yeah. Oh, they're in the woods. Okay.
They're in the woods.
Yeah.
They turned Jared Goff off, and then they sat drinking their cup after the game in excitement.
Excitement. Oh, yeah. The Bears did.
They won.
Yeah. Got it. Well, also, thank you for the Jordan logic again at the end of the video.
Oh, of course.
Very fitting. And
Yeah,
a ram
definitely
is
has
just
that logic.
simply an adult male sheep used for breeding and wool production. So there you go. Little sheep fact for you to end this video. So thank you guys for watching.
There's Donald Duck!
Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell.
He goes
Comment
quack,
your
by the
things
way.
that win these games down below, as well as your opinions on
What?
what we said.
Donald goes quack.
Donald does do that. And with that weird ending, I think it's fitting for the channel. With that, we will see you guys later.
See ya.